Hello, my name's Danny Gray. I'm a senior consultant at PTI Worldwide. This short session is all about getting creative when it comes to visioning and goal setting. I think goal setting forms such a fundamental part of personal development and ultimately achieving your overall success in life. There's a great quote I thought I'd start with by sharing with you. The tragedy of life doesn't lie in not reaching your goals, but in fact, the tragedy lies in not having any goals to reach. For many years, I've become fascinated by how people go about setting goals in their personal and professional life. And not only do I find it something that really makes a big difference to me on a personal level, I actually find listening to the way people go about doing it just really interesting. And whether it's somebody that writes something down on the back of a notebook or scribble on their phone, or whether they've got it written on their fridge and they're reminded of every day, our approach can vary. Here's the thing though, there is a simple formula for success, something that can just set you up to make sure you are giving yourself the best possible chance for achieving those overall goals. So I thought I'd just take you through those critical steps of my goal setting success journey. Now it begins right at the very beginning of this process, and that is thinking from your goals and not of them. In other words, the first place you've got to put yourself is firmly in the future. So if you are setting goals for the particular year, that future might be the end of the year, 31st of December. It might be for a smaller period of time, a month or a quarter. Could be for a much longer period of time, even a decade or even beyond that. But you've got to firmly seat yourself on that day where you reach success. And when you think from that place, you're able to really feel what that good success looks like to you. Identify with it, define it, understand it, and of course, test whether that's what you're trying to achieve. So once we do that and we're in that place, we can then move on to the second bit, which is to make sure we are writing them down. It's no good just leaving them up here in our thought process, because there they remain just a dream. By writing something down, you bring it to life. It becomes tangible. You start to make them real. Go one step further than that and share them with others. Put them out there and stick them on your office wall or on your home notice board or whatever it may be, and talk to people about it. Talk to your colleagues about it. Talk to your friends about it and let them become advocates of it. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, talks a lot about this. He absolutely loves the idea of sharing goals with colleagues and family and friends, because it holds you more accountable. So write them down in black and white, talk about them, and hold yourself more accountable. My third stage is to make sure you're writing them in the present tense. Bear in mind, if we're thinking from the place in the future, we've got to imagine that we're already there. So rather than I will be, instead I am. So by doing that, you are giving yourself the authority to believe in what you are trying to achieve. Not only that, the conviction in your voice, the behavior change, the attitude change, and the mindset change that comes with that really lends itself well to people achieving overall success. Next up, number 4, make sure there is alignment between your personal and professional. Now, what I mean by alignment is there shouldn't be any conflict, or you certainly should try and reduce conflict as much as possible. I'm really fortunate in my job. I get to travel not only around the UK, but actually around the world as part of my role. Now, that's a great opportunity for me, and actually from a professional perspective, absolutely fulfills one of my own absolute definitions of what success looks like to me, and that is to work in lots of different countries. The challenge I've got is one of my personal goals, and my personal definition of success actually is to sleep in my own bed more nights of the year. Now immediately those two things are working in tension with each other, because one is almost eroding against the other. Now I've managed to find a happy balance between those two things, but only because I've tabled the thinking from both lenses. So as you're going through your goal setting processes professionally and personally, make sure you're doing some of that alignment and removing any possible tensions that could go against it. It quite always reminds me of somebody that wants to be the CEO of one of the largest organisations in the world, but only work part-time. Sometimes these things don't quite go together. So think about what those tensions are and work cleverly and smart to try and remove them. It's also about being creative. I think there is absolute sense in all of this to just unlock possibility. You know, explore how good something can be, how good you can be. What could you achieve if you really put your mind to it? Don't be limited by your thought process you have today. Instead, expand that thinking about what you could be or what you could achieve tomorrow. Make sure, and I guess it probably follows suit, that there is an emotional connection to those goals. How do they make you feel? Do they make you feel happy, content? Do they make you feel energized or enthused? Do you feel inspired by your goal setting? If you only make goals about logical things, achieving tangible numbers or metrics, connecting with them on that emotive level can sometimes get missed. And let's face it, your overall motivational drivers towards success are going to lend themselves much closer towards an emotive level of feeling rather than a logical level of feeling. So, what does it mean to you to feel it? In fact, when you're picturing or imagining yourself achieving that success in the future, try and capture the emotion of how you might feel. Euphoric, somebody said to me once, I'd be euphoric. Brilliant. If that's a reason to get out and make it happen, that's a pretty damn good reason for me. And the final one on my list is make sure that they are C-SMART. You may be familiar with the SMART acronym when it comes to goal setting. We had an extra level of conditioning in there as well, which is all about challenging. So the C is for challenging. Make sure you're pushing the boundaries. You're really stretching yourself outside your comfort zone. The S is for specific. Make sure you're crystal clear on what it is you're trying to achieve. Don't leave it grey and fluffy. Really tie that down. What's your measure of success? How will you know you've reached it? How will you know you've been successful? How will you know you're on the right journey? The A for attainable or actionable. So is it doable? How can you bring that into actual fruition? Can it be done within the period of time? Relative, does it fit in with a bigger picture? Is it something that fits alongside other activities? This probably goes back to the aligning your personal and professional goals together. And finally, the T for timely. What's the time measure? When will we expect to see either some progress towards that goal or perhaps the overall completion of what you're trying to achieve? So there you have it. There's my simple steps towards transformational vision and goal setting. For me, the time to start is now. So don't think about it too long. Grab a piece of paper, grab your favourite cup of tea or coffee and sit down and start to map out your future success. For this time though, my name's Danny Gray and I look forward to seeing you next time.